into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello everybody, you are watching and listening to AFTERBUZZ TV Spotlight On. I'm Jason Ikeler, and before we get started, we want to make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel right down there. And if you want to participate in the conversation today, we're using the hashtag Spotlight On because we have a very special guest. Abi Ann is here today.
Hello, thank you for having
Thanks for coming in.
Of course.
So we're coming into Future Ex-Boyfriend, the new single.
Yes, we are. Yeah, it was so much fun to record. I'm so excited to share it with everyone.
We're going to talk all about that in a second, but first we're going to get to know you a little bit more.
Cool.
I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions, so just say the first thing that pops in your head, okay?
Okay, cool.
Last thing you Googled. Pressure.
Oh my God. That's actually really hard. Okay, wait, let me think about this.
Oh, you can check your phone. That's perfect.
Let's see.
Sometimes it's
Allocating my resources.
I know.
Bottega Louie in downtown, the
okay.
restaurant.
I live right by there, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Love it.
Did you go?
I did. I went Saturday.
Oh, perfect. You got to see all the sights while you're in LA.
Of course.
Okay, song of the summer.
Ooh. 5 Hours by Dioro.
Oh.
Yeah.
Favorite late night snack?
Popcorn.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you put salt on it, butter on it? What do you do?
I like black pepper on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a Texas thing?
I don't know. That's like, like the skinny pop?
Yeah.
Well, I loved that, and I was like, this has black pepper. I'm like, so much better than salt, and that's just what I use now.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, do it. It's actually really good.
Okay, celebrity crush.
Ooh. Dierks Bentley.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be awkward to answer because your parents are in the room, but worst date you've ever been on?
Oh my God. Okay, so I went on this date, and it was so incredibly, it's just we didn't click at all, and it was just so incredibly awkward, and we went to dinner, and there was nothing to talk about, and I'm just sitting there sort of drumming my fingers. I'm just kind of oh, okay, well, I gotta go, so
This is bad.
Peace, have a nice life.
Did you have somebody set up call me and saying it's an emergency?
Sorry?
You should have somebody text you next time.
I should have. I was texting my friends the entire time. I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. And everybody's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm tied up. I'm like, I hate you.
Okay, favorite
Super
app?
Nice guy, though. Instagram.
Okay, that's good. You have a pretty big following on Instagram, too, right?
Yeah, I love it there, so it's cool. I'm like, hey, guys.
Hey. Do you have any, selfie tips?
Ooh, always point it up.
Okay.
It's, more flattering.
I know. You don't want the double chins.
Yeah, exactly. So always point it up, and then got a good selfie.
Perfect. Taylor Swift or Katy Perry?
Ooh, Taylor Swift.
Country?
Yeah.
Gotta go country?
Yeah, gotta.
First concert?
First concert, Hannah Montana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it the best of both worlds tour?
It was.
I may have been there, too. That's all right.
Yeah, I was fangirling the entire time.
That's hilarious. If you weren't doing music, what do you think you'd be doing?
Business.
Business? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Are you going to be involved on the business side of your career, you think?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually studying entrepreneurship in college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so doing that.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when did you first get into music?
I did musical theater when I was younger, and so my parents, they let me do a bunch of different activities and really just wanted me to find what I loved, and so I mean musical theater stuck with me, and I was determined at a really young age to pursue a career in music, and here I am.
When did you sort of make the switch into country music?
I was about 13.
Okay.
Because I had done a lot of, just playing around. I listened to a bunch of different genres, and so, I was super engulfed in a bunch of different, things, and I just I always came back to country because it really resonated with me most, and it was what I grew up listening to.
Because Texas is all about country music.
Yeah,
So when did you start writing songs?
I wrote my first song when I was 12, and it was about Converse.
Like the shoes?
Yeah.
Would you sing it for anybody ready today?
Oh my God. I don't even remember how it goes.
That's funny. You should find that.
I know, I will.
So when did you sort of decide I want to make a career out of music?
Well, let's see. I was doing a lot of musical theater, and I did 3 plays at once at one point. Yeah, I was a workaholic at age 12. And so I just sort of, I thought about that, and I was like, wow, I've been doing this so much. Like, I've been, I really enjoy this. Like, there's nothing I don't like about it. Yeah. And so a 12-year-old me was like, let's do it. And so then, just kind of as I grew up, it really stuck with me.
That's cool. So EP is 17.
Yes.
Talk to me all about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited for it to be out. It's just such like a huge, accomplishment, like for any artist to put out their own material, and just the songs on it really represent who I am as a person and as an artist. So it's sort of like a little piece of me to the listeners.
And how many of them did you write?
I wrote 2 of them actually on that one. Yeah.
When you're choosing songs you didn't write, how do you make sure you're still connecting with them? What's the process like for that?
Yeah, it was actually funny because some of the songs that I listened to in publishing meetings, I ended up relating to more than some of the very own ones that I'd written.
Really?
I know, it was so bizarre. I was like, okay, Abby. And, it's super hard just to choose songs because we listen to so many great ones, and there's so much talent in the industry. And I just, the 3 songs that are not my own that I didn't write are just, I relate with them so well. And, I feel like they're really good representations of who I am.
That's cool. And for this, what was the songwriting process like? Because I know in country music, a lot of times you just get together in a room with a bunch of people and write. Do you like to write better on your own or with other people?
I love writing with people on my own. Like people with other people, not on my own.
Got it.
Yes, both. No, I'm just kidding. And so I always think, like, whenever I'm writing alone, it kind of feels like I'm, like, bouncing a tennis ball off a wall. And so it's sometimes a little bit hard to, like, I just like to have someone else there to, encourage the creative process and really pitch in. And, it's also always really fun to just, sit down and brainstorm.
Is there ever, I think if I was a songwriter, I'd be so scared to, like, write songs about the people I know.
Oh my God.
Is that tough?
Whenever someone really gets me mad, like, they can expect a song out of it. It's just how it is. And I think, it's not like I don't really get scared about it because I'm a pretty pronounced person. Like, I pretty much say what I'm thinking. Yeah, so they already know. Like, they know it's coming. Like, they know what I have to say.
So, like, future ex-boyfriend, if a guy messes with you, he's up for a song to be written about him.
You never know. Could happen.
Watch your backs. And we have to talk. You're going on tour with Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, I am.
How did you find that out?
Oh my gosh. Well, my mom called me downstairs, and my dad was out of town, and so she was like, well, I already knew that it was in the works, like it wasn't guaranteed or anything, so it was happening, but it wasn't for sure. And so my mom was like, hey, can you just call your dad real quick? She's like super chill and was like, yeah, whatever. And so I get on the phone, and my dad's like, well, Abby, you're going on tour with Kelly Clarkson. And I was like,
what?
Oh, some next level. And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
Wow. And I just, I started bawling. I was so happy. And, it's always been a huge goal of mine to perform at Staples because I grew up I spent a lot of my time here. I've lived out here for 5 years in LA. So, it was the place where I saw one of my first concerts. It was the place where I just really called my sort of home stadium because my own hometown didn't have one. So, I'm super excited. It's such a huge honor to be going on without, a bill of such talented artists.
Have you always been a big Kelly fan?
Yeah, I have. I mean, she's always been my jam. Like, I love her. She just has the most amazing voice and just, a really unique charisma.
Did you get to meet her yet?
Not yet,
okay.
but I'm
Are you going to fangirl when you see her?
I possibly might. I might have to, step out of the room for a second.
Just take a breather and get back in.
Yeah.
What are you doing to prepare yourself for the road?
I am really just taking a lot of time to relax. I'm graduating high school, so after that,
a big year.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of, taking a little bit of me time, spending a lot of quality time with my friends before I hit the road, and rehearsing with the band, and just focusing on writing some new material will, maybe you'll see it, and just sort of, really just cherishing this time before we go out.
And is it going to be different because you're playing like huge arenas now? How are you going to approach that differently than the shows you've been playing?
I don't think I'll probably approach it the same way, because I did grow up on a stage. It's a very like organic place to me. Like, it's basically my home, and so it's definitely going to be new performing on these huge arenas, but I'm so excited. I just can't wait.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So after the tour, you're actually going to college in the fall?
I am.
Talk to me about your choice to do that.
Yeah, well, my parents, they really instilled a huge value of education in me, so I've always had a huge passion for it, huge passion for learning, and so I just feel like I'd be doing a discredit to myself if I didn't do both, because I love both equally.
But you're going for business, you said.
Yeah, entrepreneurship.
So are you going with your like music career in mind, where you want to run everything, or do you want to be in some other field?
Yeah, no, I feel like entrepreneurship is a very broad major where I can, use what I learned there to implement and, be independent in my own career and, know what I'm talking about. So definitely I plan to minor in music industry. So
that's cool. So you're going to keep performing once you're in college?
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, that's the plan.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you're moving to Nashville then?
I am going to Belmont, so I'm going to do that.
That's like the country music city.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the little hubbub of it all.
Who in Nashville, like which country artist right now would you most like to work with?
Oh, there's so many. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I personally grew up listening to Shania Twain.
Oh, okay.
And so she is absolutely one of my biggest inspirations. So if I had to choose anyone, it'd be her.
And Shania Twain, and I know you said Taylor Swift's a big influence for you as well. Both have sort of made the transition from country into pop.
Yeah,
do you see yourself doing that?
You know what? I definitely have a lot of influences in my music, but I don't think I'll ever plan to necessarily move genres. I really I'll always have influences of country, of rock, of pop. That'll always be in my music. I don't really like to define it as like crossover, but it's definitely different than traditional country. But my music will always have those country elements, just because that's really who I feel fits me as an artist.
I like that.
Thank you.
If you could tour with any country artist, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, well, I just saw Eric Church on tour.
Oh, okay, that'd be good.
That was rockin', so that'd be crazy.
I like that. And you're involved in a lot of different anti-bullying campaigns. Talk to me about those. Yeah, well,
I Stand for the Silence is one of them, and that's actually based out of my hometown in Midland. And, I grew up and I suffered a little bit of bullying myself. I was definitely a little bit of an odd duckling in a really sport-orientated town, and I was always the one who was kind of like, I'm going to go write a song. Yeah. So that definitely, I strayed a little bit from the norm in my school, and so definitely found some struggles with that. And so I really can relate to the kids who are going through, some hard times, and I use my music to hopefully help them get through it like music did for me. And, I strongly support anti-bullying, and I think that anything we can do to make a change is necessary and really important.
What's your advice for like a kid that's going through it right now?
I always find, even myself, you're kind of embarrassed to even talk about it with anyone, because you're oh wow, I'm being bullied, great, I'm the one who people don't like you have that sort of connotation in your own head. And so I feel that talking about it with someone is the most important thing to do, and you can always talk to me, I'm here. And I think that someone you're comfortable with, someone that you feel like you can confide in, because getting that other person's support and understanding that you have that is such a huge part that seems to be lacking in a lot of struggling kids' lives.
That's awesome. And if people want to get involved, what can they do?
Yeah, well, you can contact me. And
Perfect.
Yeah, and I help out a lot, and I love talking to kids who are going through that sort of stuff. And Stand for the Silence is a great organization in Midland, and a lot of lives have been saved by it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So 5 years from now, you're graduated from college.
Yes.
You're still doing music. Where else do you see yourself?
I see myself touring. That's
okay.
I seriously grew up on a stage. Performing is my true passion. I just love, that fact that I can even like, you know, make someone's day or put a smile on their face, the fact that that's a possibility, you know, that's sort of what keeps me motivated. So definitely that, and, you know, just really enjoying life. I'm definitely one to not do anything unless it's fun. So, you know, just being me.
Well, your first tour is Kelly Clarkson, so you're going to have to top it.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to be hard to top.
I know, she's incredible.
So the EP is out. Are we working on a full-length album?
Yeah, we're working on a lot of new material right now, so you can stay tuned and expect some more in the works, definitely.
And we'll hear some of that maybe on the tour.
Possibly, you never know.
Potentially. Awesome. Well, if we want to hear more music from you, where can we find it?
Yeah, you can go to my website, and it's abi.fm, short and sweet. And then my Twitter handle is Abi, ABI, and A&N Music. And then the EP, of course, is 17, and it's on iTunes, so go check it out.
Awesome. Make sure you guys get that. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, such a pleasure. Thank you.
Good luck on tour this summer.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you guys want more from Abi, you can click more links here and follow AfterBuzz TV on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Jason Ikeler. We will see you guys back in here next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.